The sun rises over the dusty plains of Gaugamela. It's the 1st of October, 331 BC. This clash will determine who controls the Persian Empire. Waiting for the dawn is King Darius III. He commands nearly 100,000 men, anchored by a massive horizontal line, reinforced with scythed chariots and Indian elephants. Facing down this wall of infantry and cavalry is Alexander, leading a compact force of roughly 47,000 Macedonians. He is outnumbered 2-1. Because the Persian line is so much wider, a traditional parallel engagement is a death sentence. Darius's wings will simply fold inward, trapping the Macedonian force in a double envelopment. Alexander cannot win a head-on collision. To survive, he must manipulate the shape of the engagement, forcing the larger Persian army to play by his rules. Alexander begins by abandoning the straight line. Instead, he organizes his army into a hollow trapezoid. Notice how the left and right edges are angled backward. These are refused flanks. If the wider Persian line tries to wrap around the sides, they won't find an exposed rear. They will hit a solid wall of Macedonian spears. Then, Alexander makes his move. Rather than marching straight forward, he orders his entire formation to drift diagonally to the right. This forces Darius to react. To prevent Alexander from slipping past his front, the Persian king orders his commander, Bessus, to stretch his left wing outward to mirror the Macedonian, curving it slightly back, creating a convex front that remains solid even as it moves. Alexander is using the drift to pull at the Persian formation. By moving diagonally, he is forcing the massive army to stretch itself thin, creating tension in a line that was previously impenetrable. Darius attempts to break this tension with force. He unleashes his scythed chariots, sending them charging directly at the Macedonian center. The Macedonian infantry answers with calculated discipline. Rather than bracing for impact, the ranks wait for a signal and simply step aside, opening precise vertical lanes. The chariots sprint harmlessly through these negative spaces. Once they reach the rear of the formation, light troops are waiting to neutralize them. On the far right flank, however, the situation is critical. Bessus's cavalry is aggressively hammering the Macedonian wing, threatening to cave it in. Under this pressure, Alexander executes a high-stakes masterstroke. He orders a shallow gap to be opened between his central phalanx and his right wing. Bessus takes the bait. Believing the Macedonian line is finally fracturing, he pours his cavalry into the opening, effectively detaching his units from the Persian center. Alexander responds instantly. He collapses his companion cavalry and elite infantry into a dense, sharp wedge, aiming it directly at the freshly exposed Persian center. Alexander didn't wait for a mistake. He engineered a fake vulnerability to draw his enemy out of position. He has turned his enemy's numerical advantage into a trap. The wedge drives forward. It slices through the royal guard with devastating momentum, driving straight toward the heart of the Persian command. As the point of the wedge strikes toward the royal chariot, Darius III loses his nerve. He abandons his army and flees the field. Without the king, the Persian center collapses into a chaotic retreat. But victory is not yet secure. A messenger arrives with word that Parmenian's left wing is buckling and on the verge of total destruction. Alexander faces a choice. Instead of pursuing Darius to end the war immediately, he chooses to save his army. He pulls his cavalry out of the pursuit and executes a massive U-turn, striking the remaining Persian forces from behind and breaking their final assault. Gaugamela was won through adaptive spatial manipulation. By forcing a 100,000-man army to stretch and break, Alexander shattered the Achaemenid power structure and cleared the road to Babylon.